Okay, hello, welcome. Itbonenut, Jewish psychology. We want to address the question today, how should we face mentally failures, bad news, when things are not going in the right direction, in the direction that we wanted them to go. And we receive more and more information that we are not on the right road. How should we face those news? What should we do? How should we think about them? How should we face the mental challenge? I heard Yehiel Harari saying that somebody asked him in one of his interviews, what should be the most important skill that we should teach our children? And he answered that the most important skill today is mental strength. Why? You can understand by yourself why mental strength is one of the most important skills, or I think even the most important skill, because of two reasons that I will add. First, usually the problem with people that do not learn, do not focus, do not understand things, it's not the mind, it's the emotions. Somebody, think about students, think about young children. Something bothers them. They do not learn, they do not solve problems in mathematics or do not learn Torah. Why? Because something emotionally bothers them. They are suffering from some kind of anxiety, or they are in stress, or they are in bitterness. Doesn't matter what. It's about the emotion. And if you are facing a period of time when AI is so, it can take workplaces of so many workplaces, so what will be the result? That in order to invent yourself to be a new every moment, to invent yourself again and again, and to shape the value that you bring to the world, and to say that this is the value that I'm bringing, and to make the value precious. Why people are paying to me? Because I'm creating value. I'm giving them value. Without giving value, nobody will give you money. So in order to have motivation to shape my value and to bring it to the world, what I need to be strong mentally, because I'm going to face a failure and another failure, and not going to be hard, and sometimes things will not go in the direction that I want them to go. And if I'm not strong emotionally, then I will fall. And if I will fall, what does it mean I will fall? In the worst scenario, I will stay in my room and I will close all the windows and I will do nothing and I will get into depression. In another scenario, I will have no motivation. I will go to do something else and I will lose my initiative. I won't do anymore. I won't push myself forward. And what is mental strength in a minute? Mental strength is the situation that I do not allow one emotion to control my soul and to lead me. Mental strength, that means that I control my emotions. I lead my emotions. When I mean I mean my mind. My mind is is leading my emotions. An example, when I'm angry about something, I'm furious. What happens in this moment? My mind is weak. It's not strong enough to navigate my emotions. That's why I'm acting or feeling in ways that could hurt me and my environment. And when my mind is not strong enough, when it's weak, what the result will be? That I do not control myself. I am being navigated by my emotions. Mental strength, the most important idea behind mental strength, is not only to help me overcome challenges, is to bring me back the control on my life. And this control is so important. Without this control, I'm losing control of my life. Everything else will control me. News, what I see as failures, whatever I'm in, people have interest. The world have interest. The world want to control me. They want me to consume other things that I do not choose. Everyone wants to control me. Why? Because when ideas control me, I am not independent in the way I think. And when I do not independent, there are some economical, financial, and mental and political issues with that. That means that I'm being controlled. And the most important things to start living my life is to control my life. How do I control my life? I control my emotions. I navigate my emotions. I decide in which direction I allow myself to be full of passion and to feel alive and animate my body. And I decide where I do not let myself be in places that now let me feel so bad, and I do not let myself be hurt by others. When I'm being hurt by others, what does it mean when I'm being hurt? When I'm being hurt, when I allow myself to say, wow, he offended me so much, now I feel so bad about it, and now I stop doing things that I plan to do. What does it mean I stop doing things that I plan to do? He told me, oh, your lessons, your English channel is a crap. It's so worst. Your English is so low. What will be the result? That I won't continue to upload videos. I won't continue to do lessons. I won't continue to meditate, to contemplate, to do things that I think that are important. Why? Because somebody else now controls my emotions, and through that he controls my behavior. So the most important thing is to bring back the control on their emotions. In order to do that, I have to minimize the power, the enlightenment of the emotions from the soul to the body. That's the most important thing. The soul, the emotions are powers, are attributes that comes from the soul and animates the body. But when they are so strong, too much strong, they hurt me. That's why we have the mind. The role of the mind is to navigate and to minimize the power of the emotions, not to let them control me in such a way that they will be so strong and they will illuminate in my body in such a strong way. How should I deal? Let's get back to our first question. How should we deal with failures? In order to deal with failures, we have to understand the logic of a failure. What is the logic behind a failure? Maimonides, as a beautiful, is describing beautifully how should we react when we hear bad news or unfavorable tidings. He says like that: if you heard, a person hears a favorable tidings, good news, he should recite the blessing, blessed are you God, our Lord, King of the universe, who is good and does good. Oh, okay. If he hears bad tidings, if he received bad news, if he knew that he failed in one trajectory, he should also recite almost the same blessing. Bless you, true judge, that a person is obliged to recite the blessing over undesirable occurrence. That's what he says. I'm reading from Ilchot Brachot from Maimonides, one of our most important sages in the Jewish history. He says like that: is in the same spirit he should accept what happened to him in positive spirit. In Hebrew it's called tuv nefesh. It should be like glad about it and even bless about it and say, oh, God is good and he did to me good things, and you shall love God your Lord with all your might. How come? How can we? I sat last Saturday on Chag Shvuot, on the Shvuot holiday, with Miriam Peretz. I don't know if you know her. Miriam Peretz is she lost two of her sons, two of her children in Israel, in the army. They were in the army and they fell. They were killed in, I don't remember the operations that they were killed in. And after that, she lost her husband that died from sorrow. And she's such an important figure in the Israeli news and Israeli society. Why? Because everything that happened to her, she was still positive about it. And her spirit was like good spirit. And you sit with her and you learn how to overcome hard occurrence, harsh life, that, bad news that comes to you one after another. I think there was a gap of 8 years, something like that, or 9 years between the first son that died, that was killed, and the second one. Two of them, they were warriors, very important warriors in the Israeli army. And it was like, wow, losing two of your child in the army, it's like, who can face that? And then her husband. And then she thought, what will be my comfort? She said that in Shavuot, in the holiday, we had lectures all night long, and she said, I thought, what will be the comfort? So a grandchild will be a comfort, a great comfort, and she waited for the grandchild, and then the first grandchild was born, and she felt that something within wasn't good, and it was not okay, the child. It was like he was facing challenges. And then the second one was also facing challenges. He was autist. I should have looked how you should translate the word in English, but he suffered from autism, and it was so hard for her. She said, on my child's, on my two of my child that were killed in the operation, in the army operations, I was moral. I was sad for 7 days. 7 days I sat on them, but on those two grandchildren, I was set Shiva, 7 days, even a month, more than 7 days, because it was so hard for me. But still, she saw her son, the father of the two grandchildren, and he asked her, mother, why are you sad? This is our blessing. Their soul is so high. This is what the Creator wants from us. And she was immediately she was shocked, and it changed all her point of view. What's the message? The message is, it's very hard. Sometimes you look at people that are facing very hard things, then facing, things that we are not facing in everyday life, but still you can learn from them to our everyday life. The Shavuot holiday, I was in a beautiful hotel in Tel Aviv, Carlton Hotel, very five stars, and everything was great. And I woke up in the morning and I felt a little bit bitterness. And then I stopped and asked myself, how could you? How you allow yourself? Everything is so marvelous. The food is great. The sea is great. Everything is great. Your lectures were good. Everything was really great. And you allow yourself to be in mood of bitterness? Why? So sometimes, without even a reason, we allow ourselves to think that things are failure. And failure, it's a very subjective thing. So how can we bless on the good things as well as we bless on the bad things? It's like the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Chasidut, has this saying. He's saying, "Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid." The translation is that I should always look for the Creator in my life. But the inner translation is that whatever is happening to me, it's the same. I don't really care if I'm in 5-star hotel or I am in my home or whatever, because everything is the same. How can you bless on everything that you are going through? Let's understand the logic of this transformation, of accepting bad things as good one and bless on them, and really be full of thankful to everything that I'm going through. The first thing, sometimes you do not know what will happen at the end. Things that you think that are very bad could manifest themselves in a good way, in a profound way. You do not know. You do not know. Sometimes you think that things are going in a good way, and then at the end they will go in bad way. So first thing, you do not know what will happen at the end. Second, in every bad, in every evil, there is goodness. In every goodness, there is evil. There is, from the sin of the first man, of Adam and Eve, goodness and evil are combined together. It's very hard to separate between them. So when you bless on things that looks good, you know there is bad in them. And the opposite, when you bless on something that you feel now that is bad, you do not know. Maybe there is a part of it that is goodness, and you should add on that goodness. And bad and evil are relative things. It's all about the way your mindset is going, the way you see things. So that's the third things. The fourth idea that connected to the logic of blessing on the good, blessing on failures, is that sometimes misery is always the intention of misery, of agony, is positive. when something happens and you don't know why they happens to you, there is a positive intention beyond them. What the Alter Rebbe is saying, the Alter Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad movement, is saying that the Creator, his tendency is for good, and he's looking to do good, and everything that you are going through, maybe you suffer, maybe you're facing agony, everything that you are going through is in your favor, is in order that you will develop yourself, will uplift yourself, you will work on yourself, will clean undesirable tendencies or emotions that you have in your life. And when you accept with love this effort, it's like in sport. It's very hard to go out to do sports because I don't want to do sport and I have to invest an effort in what I'm doing. But at the end, you feel that you did something preciously, something important. You enjoyed the sport. So the fourth thing is that everything that bad that you are facing is in order that you will develop from it, in order that you will appreciate what you have to add to this situation. You are an influencer and nothing happens without you need to influence or to do something in this situation. Sometimes influencing is only by smiling. Another idea that is connected to the logic of blessing on the failures and the bad news is everything is just an experiment according to the inner perspective of Judaism. What does it mean, experiment? You look at things and it's all about, do you scare from the word? Do you really appreciate that there is godliness beyond whatever you are facing and this Creator wants the good for you? And if you hold this point of view, you are not afraid of the word. You're not walking and thinking that everything is against you. And if you love something, if you love the way the Creator creates the world, then you love the Creator. And if you are afraid from the world, then you have no really connection with the Creator. So the idea of Maimonides is saying, what is Maimonides saying? Because you have such a tremendous love to the Creator, that's why when things that look for you in this moment as agony, as miserable, as bad news, really they are a manifestation of love. That it's like a hug that pushes you forward and tells you, no, you can get out of yourself more. Believe in yourself. You will succeed. It's very hard when you face the example, when you look on the example of Miriam Peretz. It's like losing 2 children. It's unbelievable. But in everyday life, this is the only way that we can face challenges without really accepting that there is something good in them that will push me forward. Then challenges then failures are a disaster. Otherwise, they are my blessing. They help me to develop myself. Okay, התבוננות. You're more than welcome to join our growing channel. See you in the next התבוננות.